Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to Starjump Shipyard. I am Grim. Nice to see you all. Good morning, good morning. I see some people coming into chat here. VMXEO in chat, salute to you. VMXEO helped me out with an asset I needed for today's stream, so thank you very much. Nice to see everybody today. Got a little bit of a crowd forming. 41 over on YouTube already, and 12 over on Twitch, or at least that's what Twitch is currently telling me. It is July 8th, Tuesday, as you all know. This is our Shipyard episode where we talk about ships, speculate on ships, focus on ships, talk about the gameplay surrounding certain ships, all that kind of stuff. Um, and then on Thursdays, generally, is the weekly chat show where we talk about just general Star Citizen stuff. Maybe it's not specifically ship related, although sometimes it is. I mean, we don't have any hard and fast rules here, right? Um, but anyways, Daft Digit says it perfectly well down there in chat. Hit that like button if you're watching over on YouTube. Thumbs up the show, all that good stuff. Please follow if you haven't already. I really appreciate that. It does go a long way. I know it's the cliche thing to say, but it actually does go a long way into like feeding the algorithm gods and just helps out with stuff a lot in terms of propagation of the channel and stuff. So please do that if you haven't already. Also, do not forget we have a Perseus giveaway going on right now. You just need to follow the Gleam link that is posted in chat. Get your entries on that. Only 21 days left. Remember, the Perseus is in active development. Probably coming out later this year. So if you win this giveaway, a really, really cool ship would be coming your way this year. So I don't think you have to wait long on that one. So get in on that giveaway while you can. There's a number of things to talk about. We're going to give you a little bit of a primer on what we're going to do today. Had a fun little exercise recently where I was kind of kit bashing a Drake what a Drake snub ship would be, and there's a reason I was doing that. It wasn't just to kit bash another ship. It has to do with some news recently that came out of the PU monthly report. We're going to go into that. So we're going to do some kit bashing today. Hopefully, you all don't mind that. Obviously, sometimes those turn out good. Sometimes they turn out terrible. But as you all know, on this channel sometimes we do kit bashing, right? So we will take just parts and pieces of existing ship models, cram together, maybe do some unique modeling, just depending. But the essential idea to that is we try to create something new out of the assets, just to kind of spur conversation on maybe what something could be. It's not necessarily to say CIG make this or anything like that. It's just really to see what could be, right? And possibly sometimes illuminate maybe what's missing from the verse or what should be altered in the verse. And specifically with the Drake snub thing that we're going to kit bash today, it specifically goes into something that may need to be altered on another Drake ship. And again, we're gonna talk all about that. But Center 55, hope you well, hope you well. Real quick though, I do want to swing over, as always, I do want to talk a little bit about Quantum Vegas. We are on the eve of it right now, everybody. We're 3 days away, or sorry, 3 days, 23 hours away from Quantum Vegas. There's a website right now. Make sure you go get your tickets if you can. If you can make it to Vegas, they do have a few tickets left. But if you can get to Vegas, definitely buy some tickets. Make the drive if you can. Grab yourself a hotel room for the night. It's going to be a blast. On Friday night, so the event is on Saturday, but on Friday night from 6:30 local time and at 6:30 p.m. local time in Las Vegas, they're having a bar citizen there at Area 15. The bar citizen is going to be amazing. It's going to be a who's who of people there. But what's really cool is that there are going to be a ton of ship giveaways that night at the bar citizen event, courtesy of CIG. CIG really coming through there with the ships for this event. I have seen the list of ships. I can't remember what they all are, but I know it's a wide swath of ships, from big to small. There's some really big, heavy hitting ships. I think some Hercules and maybe some other big ones. that they're going to be giving away. So it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Maybe they'll even bring a few surprises. I don't know. I think maybe Galactica and Xylo will be there. I'm a little unsure of when, if they'll be at the Bar Citizen event. I know they'll be at the actual Quantum event. But either way, it's going to be a really cool Bar Citizen. You will see me there. I'll be wearing this hat. So if you're there and you see this hat, you know it's me. Hit me up. I'll be meandering around, probably most likely with a drink in hand, but also eating a meal. I That'll be 6:30. That time will be prime eating time for me, so I'll probably be at the Bar Citizen chowing down. But if you see me, if you're going, and you see me, tap on my shoulder, introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you all, and we can talk spaceships, right? We can talk spaceships. But again, going to be a lot of fun. I've showed this many times, but the cast of people that are going to be there is incredible. DePoets is going to be one of the primary hosts, as well as Kim Ellis from EE Studios. You know her as the voice of Ava Huxley and their Machinima series. But also Sandy Roberts, co-founder of Cloud Imperium Games, is going to be there. Really cool. Sean Tracy, Senior Director of Tools and Tech Content. I'll be sharing a table with Sean Tracy at the event for meet and greet, which will be really cool. Excited about that. Obviously, Galactica and Xylo will be there heading up the community stuff. Nate, the director and producer of EE Studios Machinimas, will be there. I think he'll have a big part to play in the Machinima Awards that are going on there. Yours truly will be there. I will be doing a panel on how Starjump Fleet Viewer is made, how it is upkept, what the pipelines are, how that work is done. I'll be bringing some stats, so it's going to be really, really cool. Paul Shelley, Astro Historian, will be there. I'm looking forward to meeting Paul. Serious Fun is going to be one of the moderators. Serious Fun will be moderating the Fleet Viewer panel with me, so I'm excited about that. I need to send him my presentation tomorrow. Daniel Raymond, the voice of Ray's Guide, will be there, of course. Griffin Gaming RPG, obviously putting a ton of work into this event, so Serious Fun, by the way. Commander Fran from Beacon Events, and Nick at Night. Nick is obviously kind of organizing and managing the Bar Citizen the night before. So again, gonna be a lot of fun. There's an incredible amount of sponsors that are going to be there. So excited about that. It's still going to be kind of a smaller, intimate event, which is going to be cool. I think I forget how many people or how many tickets are available, but yeah, it's going to be really cool. You can see all the panels here. Again, just going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be the Machinima Awards, all kinds of cool stuff. So I'll be taking a lot of pictures, by the way. And I'll post them in the Starjump Discord. So it'll be a lot of fun. But again, we're mere days away. I just, as of a little bit ago, finished the Starjump presentation. I really I had to update one of my older presentations, but I think we're all there. I think we're all there. Mookin says, need to trade our state's challenge coin with yours, Starjump. Yeah, absolutely. I'm bringing a few challenge coins. I'm also bringing these sort of mini challenge coins, these little mini pins. They're a pin. You can attach them. Let me switch to my big window here. You can kind of attach them, but they're made out of metal. My kid drew on these, though, so ignore it. It's a little bit covered in marker. But I'm bringing these. These are metal. They're really cool Starjump pins. I'll have a bunch of these to give away. I have stickers, all kinds of fun stuff. But yes, hopefully I'll get to meet all of you there. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so I did want to also thank everybody. We crossed a big follower milestone, now 5,000 followers. So thank you very much on that. Really appreciate it. Incredible. It's been a lot of fun. We kind of started this push through Play Live, and it's just been a lot of fun. Get to hang out with you all, talk spaceships, all that kind of good stuff. As you know, it's a very successful Play Live event. Again, just we're just going to kind of continue that momentum for the rest of the year. That's what we're doing. I mean, maybe not quite as many streams, obviously, but just kind of continue that momentum. All right, so let's kind of get into a few things today. So before we jump into kit bashing, which I know everyone is wanting to kind of get to, I did just want to talk about one thing that's obviously, if you're playing Star Citizen or into Star Citizen right now, it's the thing to talk about, which is the hacking cheating kind of scandal that's going on right now. Obviously, there's lots of videos on YouTube showing the cheat menu, the cheat software kind of in action. Obviously, it's having a very disruptive effect in game right now. People are insta-dying, losing all their gear. It is now escalated into something even more detrimental, which is like people, like entire, loot boxes, hangars being emptied, ships disappear, all kinds of stuff. So, what is my opinion on this? Well, my opinion on this is that I'm glad it's happening now. We're in that stage of a game where hopefully, again, they may call it a game, we may call it a game sometimes, but let's be totally honest, it is an alpha, as is famously said all the time by people. It's you could call it an alpha, you can call it a tech demo, you can call it a pre-release, whatever you want to call it, but it's not a real full game yet. And even more so than that, we do not have what I call, not even what I call, we don't even have permanent persistence yet. We have kind of a quasi persistence that can persist over patches right now. But the idea is that we get closer to 1.0 or beta, all that is probably going to be wiped to some degree. Now, so there really is no sense of permanence with anything right now. So if there was ever a time for this type of stuff to happen, it is now. And in some ways, it's good that it's happening because it allows CIG to figure out where the leaky holes are at in their game, figure out what code needs to be hardened, figure out what stuff needs to be moved server side versus client side, right? Thank you for the follow, Gal. Appreciate that. Right? It's showing us all the, oh, there goes the Javelin, a little late, but it shows us all the stuff, or shows the developer, all the stuff that they need to button up before we get to a 1.0 state, right? So while it can be disruptive now, I still think it's very, in a way, it's almost helpful. And it's good that you get in there, play it, let the hacks happen to you. Don't worry, it's not going to mess up any of your stuff. So what? They delete your gear or whatever, you're going to get it back. But and the stuff that you didn't get back probably wasn't permanent on your account anyway. It was going to be wiped at some point. But get in there, test it when that stuff happens, file those reports. Absolutely, those issue council reports. CIG has said, that they're on it and that they're focused on it. And hello, Ender. Everyone give Ender a big old salute. Hope you're doing well, Ender. But I don't look at it as like the terrible thing, I guess, that a lot of people are saying right now, where it's like game ending. I actually did watch Salty Mike's response to this the other day, and I don't, agree with everything Salty Mike says, but I actually thought he had the exact same viewpoint I have on this, which is this is the time for it to happen. If the game is going to be hacked and brutalized, now is the time where that needs to happen, and pushed to the limit so that CIG can figure out what they need to fix with the game. Or and not only what they need to fix, but also help refine their tools to help fix the situation in the future. And I'll give you a good idea on that. Let's say in the future, in a post 1.0 place, there is bad hacking, bad cheating, bad exploits, or whatever. CIG needs to have their internal tools that track what happens in game across all the shards, all the servers. They need to have those tools robust enough to be able to deep dive in, see who was doing what, who it affected. You need to know who it affected, because if those people lost items in a post 1.0 environment, you need to then be able to go back as the developer and redistribute items to affected parties. You need to be able to punish the people and ban the accounts that did do the exploit or grief or cheat or hack or whatever you want to call it. And then you need to have good analytics, good tracking data on what caused it, how it was propagated, all that kind of stuff to fix it in the future, right? So AC Nomad, thank you for the follow. So it's not all what code needs to be fixed. A lot of this is going to be just helpful to them getting their own internal tools up to par. right? And locked and loaded for a 1.0 world where this shit actually does matter. Because we're not there yet. Like when I go in the game now, if I lose a piece of armor, I'm like, oh well. You know what I mean? I really don't. I don't even have a rolling. I don't even have a rolling inventory of what's in my, you know, my inventories or hangars and stuff because everything is so non-committal right now. It's not a big deal to lose things. I mean, it sucks for that gameplay moment, but it's not. It doesn't mean anything yet. AUEC doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Just like if myself or I know Ender used to do this a lot. You see someone post in chat, "Oh, I need 1,000,000 AUEC because I'm trying to buy this ship. I want to try it out." People will just send you 1,000,000, or say, I've had people send me 5,000,000 UEC before because even money doesn't matter. It's just completely pointless right now. It has no value to it other than your time if you grinded for it, right? Um, so, and if you're grinding for stuff in an alpha environment and the losing those items and feeling like the grind was a waste is going to have a negative effect on your view, on how you feel, I definitely wouldn't be grinding in an alpha game. The people that are grinding for things now really should be the people that are okay with doing that slog, and if they lose it, filling out a bunch of issue council reports on why they lost it, etc., all that. I mean, we're still very much in a testing environment. I mean, very, very much. I can't even, it. The 1.0 environment has to be so different than what we experience now for people. Remember, and again, I'm telling you this as a long-time World of Warcraft player. I think I've been playing World of Warcraft for 24 years at this point. 2006 is when we started. But think about it this way. The reason people play MMOs is because they have confidence in the time they're putting into it, right? There's some confidence that that time is going to be persistent, stay with them. You're going to accrue things, you know what I mean? You're going to kind of move up the ladder slowly but surely. So in an MMO environment, the history of your account, the history of your gameplay there is important. It's not just the moment. And for Star Citizen, I can tell you right now, for Star Citizen to be a successful MMO game, they're going to have to get into place a stable, persistent environment, and we are just not there yet. I mean, right now they're still trying to fix elevators and trams. We're not there yet. We're not. We're literally still alpha. We're not even to beta phase yet. You know what I mean? We're not even to beta phase yet. I would say more than half the gameplay features are still not in the game. You know what I mean? So, hacking, yes, it sucks. If there's any time for the hacking and cheating to be going on, now's the time anyway. So I don't like the hacking and cheating is going on. I feel bad for any of you that have been negatively affected. Just take that deep breath and know that it doesn't matter at this stage. But make sure you fill out your issue council reports. Every game is hacked, by the way. I know some people may go to see, think about CIG. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Every game is hacked and people cheat in every single game. You're not going to get away from that. VMXEO says, honestly, surprised it hasn't happened to this extent sooner. Yeah, me too. Completely. I did see someone say that back in 2016, there was hacking websites or selling hacking software to hack Arena Commander in 2016. It's always going to be in Star Citizen. It's just how CIG mitigates it, but more importantly, how they can rectify it for those affected. If they have systems in place that can rectify the detrimental effects of it that hit players to where their accounts get recredited with lost items, lost money, lost whatever, then all will be well. All will be well. But until that point, all this is essentially a tech demo, and we're testing it, and the cheaters are testing it right now too. So, Tech Zero says, Greedy Man's Quantum Vegas hype. Yes, Quantum Vegas hype indeed. I am looking forward to meeting people. It's going to be a lot of fun. I do have some Starjump stuff, some Starjump swag there. Like I said, everybody got the new hat. I'll be wearing this at the event. New hat. I actually got two because I was testing out new merch vendor. Got the gray and got the black. They fit pretty well too. They are flex fits. People will be able to buy these on the merch store very soon. Um, I was just testing out a new merch store, so that's why they're kind of just in progress. So anyway, all right, shall we get to kit bashing? Okay, before we get to kit bashing, let's go ahead and get into what we're sort of talking about right now. And that is, let me bring it up. Why are we talking about kit bashing a new snub? Well, we're kind of talking about it because of this ship right here. So, for those that don't know, in last week's PU monthly report, we had some pretty big ship news hit. Um, First off, we learned that the Apollo Medevac, the Apollo Triage, had hit Lot Zero, and we're essentially barreling towards final art. They were actually doing a lot of testing with the modular medical bay configurations. Once again, reaffirming that we're going to the medical bays in the Apollo will be modular to some degree. I'm really excited to see the Apollo because they've really kind of kept it behind closed doors through its development pipeline, and I think that could really mean that we're going to see something pretty special with that ship. It was due to get a little bit of a reconcepting. Its exterior had a few what I call sort of like old school RSI design things, so I'm really curious to see what was updated on it, but really excited to see that. The Apollo. We learned that the Paladin was, I think, at final art actually already, right? So Paladin coming. Citizen Deck says, shame for the folks grinding the Wicklow stuff, though. Yeah, 100%. Real quick, I'll divert back to that real quick. 100%. Do not get me wrong. I'm not trying to minimize anything. I feel bad for the people grinding the Wicklow stuff, but here's my thing about that. We still don't know if the Wicklow stuff is even permanent. As a matter of fact, I doubt it is because I think there's going to be major changes to the Wicklow stuff. Now, if I'm wrong, if that stuff is permanently credited to your count, let me know. But I mean, even the Wicklow stuff has got to be. We're just testing it right now, right? We're just testing it right now. So, but yes, going back to this, the other big ship that was talked about, okay, was the RSI Perseus, which just made it through Greybox review and was doing really well through development. But one of the other ships that was talked about that was really exciting to see was that the Drake Kraken and the Gatak Raylan both entered pre-production. Okay, specifically, let's talk about the Kraken though. Okay, so the Kraken entered pre-production, and one of the things that was talked about with it was that it was going to sort of get a modernization pass. So CIG was going to take a look at the ship, see what's currently spec'd in its design brief, look at some of the interior and exterior concepting of the ship, see if everything still played nice with the modern gameplay direction of Star Citizen, and then based off that, make any changes that need to be made. Now, I know a lot of people were thinking, and we are getting to our Drake snub, by the way. This is connected. So we connected. Hold on one second. So I know a lot of people were hitting me up saying, hey, I saw the Drake Kraken went into pre-production. Does and it's going to be reconcepted. It's going to totally change. How do you feel about that? I can pretty much guarantee you. I can pretty much guarantee you that the ship is going to look predominantly the same on the exterior for the most part. There might be a few small greeble changes. A few nips and tucks here. This might grow a meter, this might shrink a meter, that type of stuff. But by and large, the ship is going to look pretty damn close to what it is now. So I'm not concerned about that. First off, in terms of looks, the Kraken is probably one of the most sought after ships. Why would CIG change that when it's really kind of unnecessary? There's only really two areas on the exterior that I see could need possibly an update. But Galawalaway, hopefully I said that right, says, I say they double it in size. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool, but I don't think they will, specifically because John Crew and Gavin Rothery have both said that the ship is so big now that there's a lot of unused space within it that they have to figure out what to do with. So I think the ship actually has a predominance of space to work with. So, but why are we talking about the Kraken here? Well, one of the things, let's go back to one of the images here that I want to focus on is this room right here. Okay. Now, for those of you that have watched my Drake Kraken Shipyard video, you will know that one of the rooms internal to the Kraken is the Dragonfly Bay. Okay, this was concepted, remember, back in 2018. And in 2018, we did not have near the Drake ships in game that we have now. Ships like the Corsair, I think the Corsair was maybe, its concept was announced slightly before the Kraken. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Just like a year before, maybe 6 months before. But we didn't have other ships, right? Like the Cutter series and stuff like that. So when I look at this particular room, and this particular room takes up a decent amount of space in the Kraken's main central area. And I think about the Dragonfly, which was one of the things available in Drake's arsenal, at the time of the Kraken's concept reveal. The Dragonfly is an interesting ship because I guess you'd call it a ship, but and people do fly them in space. But right now, I think of it as more a ground vehicle. Now, I would love to see CIG expand the Dragonfly's abilities to be able to, in a sense, take off from ground level. And sort of then fly instead of where it's on the ground, it's connected to the ground via the GravTech. And if you launch it in 0G, okay, it can fly as in 0G, but I would love for CIG to make the ship be able to do those transitions on its own from surface level to atmosphere or space. But that being said, one of the things I got to thinking about was what if the Dragonfly Bay, and again, we're just kind of theory crafting here, but what if the Dragonfly Bay was reconcepted to carry a different type of Drake Snub ship? Specifically something that was enclosed and then essentially made proper for, in space, non-oxygen type environments, right? Think of something that maybe could have some use on board the Kraken itself, right? Lobo Duck Dirker, hopefully I said that right. I cannot do names good. Thank you for the follow, appreciate it. So in thinking about that, what I was really thinking about was a parallel to the Idris to some degree, right? So the Idris has the MPUV, which can launch out of its bottom bay. That MPUV, there's multiple variants now. Obviously, there's the tractor beam variant. There is the the cargo variant, the personnel variant. But essentially, does Drake kind of need its own MPUV that could be launched from this room instead of something like the Dragonfly, right? BMXEO says a short-range troop transport, we need more MPUV type craft to go with capital ships. I fully agree. So, and that's sort of what this exercise is all about, right? We need more utility ships for Kraken or for capital ships to sort of complement the capital's limited usage in certain environments, and that will become, and that's already being addressed by CIG to some degree, right? Zen, thank you for that follow. That's already being addressed by CIG to some degree. In 4.2 or 4.2.1, I forget, CIG implemented a bunch of changes to capital ships, which slowed them down quite a bit, especially the Polaris. But also, I believe they implemented things to make them to where they don't operate or just sort of their flight characteristics in atmosphere have been severely diminished, and I think that even more is going to come there. Again, CIG has already said multiple times that they want the act of taking a capital ship, for example, in atmosphere and landing it to be a big deal, to be a big moment, something that doesn't happen very frequently. So you are going to need these sort of utility ships connected to capital ships to help with just general to A to B movement, getting to the ship, getting to surface level, but also even and with the tractor beam variants for like the MPUV and stuff, tractor beam variants to help move items on the ship easier, on the exterior of it, or replace turrets, just all that kind of stuff. Much like a modern aircraft carrier has helicopters assigned to it and other and other small boats attached to it that it can put in the water to kind of facilitate that level of support. I think we need that for our capitals here. So one of the things I was messing with, let me move some windows around here. Bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. Boop, 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 boop. Where's my left? Okay, there we go. Is one of the things I was messing around with was this little guy, which I both think is cool and not cool. I like it, but I do have some issues with it. Let me get it centered here. But essentially, this was this little. Let me move this around here. Bear with me. Yeah. So essentially, it was this little ship here, borrowing elements from a few ships, the cutter, the mule, the golem. I think it takes a bunch of those. It essentially is supposed to be just a small little vessel. I don't know how big, but we'll measure that. We'll measure that. As a matter of fact, let me go over. We're going to bring a few things in here. Okay. Let me go to Starjump Fleet Viewer. So let's switch back to that real quick. Let's go back to Starjump Fleet Viewer for a second. Let's go to, we're going to add a few ships here so we can see what's what. Okay, so MPUV, let's do the MPUV tractor at 9.3 meters long, and then we'll do the mule 4.2. We'll do the golem, the cutter at 20 meters. Oh man, is the cutter that big? Damn, that's crazy. And then let's do another snub ship. Let's do the P-52 Merlin, which is at 12 meters. Okay, so I would say then we can pretty confidently say that. Actually, let me. Oops, sorry. Select. Oh, I'm looking at this. I'm learning how to use Fleet Viewer apparently right now. Make our type small, and we'll go into a different font here. There we go, that's better. Okay, so I feel pretty confident. What do you all think? VMXEO says perhaps the Caterpillar command module could be repurposed as a dropship. Yeah, I was actually thinking of that, and that's something we were going to kind of look into, VM. So one of the things I wanted to look at here was what size should a snub craft be, right? So I think we have to, because we're talking about the Kraken here, I think we have to add the Dragonfly, right? Let's add a yellow jacket since we're being cheeky here. I think we have to look at what that size scenario would most likely be. So, okay, so the mule's 4 meters. Dragonfly is 9 meters, or sorry, 6 meters. MPUV is 9 meters. So I think overall, for an internally held snub, we need to be somewhere in the 6 to 9.3 meter range, probably closer to 9.3 meters. Would you all agree? To sort of target the MPUV size range? Just from a scale perspective, right? Thinking of interoperability. Pisces is a nice snub. That's true. That's true. Is there a bottom view on Fleet Viewer? No, there's not a bottom view on Fleet Viewer. And partially, the reason we didn't decide to do a bottom view is because on a lot of the concept ships, the mesh is like almost non-existent. It would have required a lot more modeling on my part for concept ships, to be totally honest with you. Okay, so let me swing back. So 9.3 meters, right? 9.3 meters. Yeah, 10 max kind of deal. Okay, Decent says 10 max. So let's go back to this. I want to measure this real quick. I want to measure this here because I don't know how long this is. So let's do this here. Let's switch over. Let's switch views. Let's go to the top-down view here. And I don't know, actually. How big is the Pisces, everyone? Does anyone know offhand? I can look it up, obviously, on Fleet Viewer, but I didn't know if anyone knew offhand. Okay, so let's continue to do this about like that and about like, okay, so our current ship here, let me turn this off. Our little Drake button ship here is currently 5.7 meters long, so actually shorter than a dragonfly. That's crazy. 2.4 meters tall, so 2.4 meters tall, and then it is 4.4 meters wide. 4.4 meters wide. So if 9 meters is our max, let me go back to something real quick. Let me grab something real quick, everybody. Bear with me. MPUV. MPUV. Let's grab an MPUV, shall we? Hopefully that's to scale. So this thing is a tiny little ship. Let's bring this over. We'll get a sense of how big it is compared, at least currently spec'd, how big it is compared to an Argo MPUV. Let me rotate this. Yeah, that's how big I currently have it spec compared to the Argo MPUV. I believe. Is this scaled right? Let me double check our length because we don't want to assume too much here. Let me go back to the top-down view. We're not like dead on specific here with our measurements. We're just kind of roughing it here. Let's say it's how big is this? Oops. Oh yeah, that's right. That's 9.9.3. Yep. Yep. Okay. So that gives you an idea of how big we currently have the little Drake button ship, right? But it's not that it couldn't be bigger. Actually, speaking of, let's take another look at one other little snub ship. I guess you'd call it a snub, right? Let's look at the Fury. So the Fury's 7 meters. So it's about the size of a Fury then, okay? About the size of a Fury. Okay, Fury 7 meters. So what we're going to do is, do I have a Fury? Do I have a Fury? I probably don't have a Fury. I don't think I do. Or do I? Probably should have asked for that from VM. Yeah, snub essentially means no jump drive, or at least that's how I think of it. That's how I think of it. I don't know if any of you think of it differently, but that's kind of how I think of it. Okay, so essentially, actually, you know what? I can pull down. You know what? I can grab the Fury. Bear with me here because I think it'll be important to see that. And then we're gonna do some other. We're gonna do some other. Okay, here we go. I found it. Okay, so let me go to downloads. By the way, everyone, thank you. Oops, I'm not showing the screen. Okay, so yeah, let's go back to here. Let me grab this model. Let's bring it into our environment here. And let's rotate it. Okay, so that needs to be 90, and then we need to spin it around the right direction, get it orientated correctly. Let's throw the old Fong tag on it there. Okay, so essentially a Fury is that big compared to this thing. Now, yeah, something like that. So as you see, currently spec'd, I think the little Drake bug ship is about the same. Now, what we might actually be, we might actually be too small on here. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking we are, because I think it's scaled to the size of a, I think it might be scaled to the size of the mule, or at least I thought it was, but we're going to check that. We're going to check it right now. Because scale's everything. Scale is important because we need to be able to put a player character in the damn thing, right? Okay, so let's grab our, let's hope the computer doesn't crash. Okay, there it is. Let's see here, let me, bear with me everybody. Okay, so let's, I gotta delete some lights here. Okay. All right, let's grab this. Stand by. Okay, is there lights on this thing? Let me check that real quick, everybody. Bear with me. Yeah, there they are. I knew there was some lights. Just kill the lights for a minute here. Okay, so let's take our Drake Mule, which we know a player can fit in, a single player, right? Okay, and let's bring it over. So again, if as long as our cockpit is the same size as a mule, we know a player could get into it. And as you see, we are pretty much right on target there, right, in terms of size. So we're operating at a scale that essentially a player character could get into the front. Maybe this front part opens up here, right? So yeah, it's tiny, but I think that's ultimately what we want, right? We want something small. Now, why do we want it small like that? Let's do something a little different here. Okay. Where's the other red pieces? Sorry, everybody. I'm just changing a few things around. So, I think that's technically what we need, right? Something like that to operate out of that Kraken room, okay? And we'll bring up the Kraken here in a second. Well, screw it. We'll actually do it now. Let's go ahead and open the Kraken. Where is the Kraken? Okay, so we want to get a sense of how big that is. And then we might kit bash some new stuff. Might kit bash something a bit new. Okay, so let's kill the lights here. Okay, let's get us off perspective mode. Okay, there we go. This is mostly to scale, but you know what? Let me fix one thing because this is actually an old project of mine here. Let me switch. Okay, so here we go. So we know the Dragonfly room is back here, by the way. I'm pretty sure it opens from this hatch. I believe this is some sort of hatch right here. So let me next thing I need to see if this is to scale. And it's definitely not. So let's get the Kraken to scale real quick, okay? Kraken is 270 meters long, which puts it the length of that bar, which means we got a little work to do, but that's okay. We can do this. Okay, so let's go ahead and scale the Kraken up. Okay, so let's grab the Kraken, switch to our top view because it's a little easier to do it. Let's turn off cameras, let's turn off lights, and let's scale it up here. So if I had to guess, it's probably like 555. Usually it's nice round numbers. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, cool. All right, now the Kraken is to scale. There it is. There's our Kraken. All right, let's let's see here. Let's grab our little Drake ship here, our little bug. I think Execute was calling this the Golem. I'm calling it the bug. Or the Goblin. The Goblin. I'm calling it the bug. But any name works. Okay, let's throw it in here. Let's pop this in. Again, this should be to scale. Again, we know a player can fit in this. Let's zoom it on down. Okay, and why is, I need to adjust that center point. There we go, that's good. So there we go, let me rotate this around. I don't know if any ship team members are watching right now, but you never know. So that is the size of the Drake Goblin, bug, whatever you want to call it, compared to the Kraken right now. So technically could launch out of that bay. That is possible. John says, going to disagree with you on the need part of this thing. What does this do that is not done better than the ATLS or MPUV? It doesn't even make a good comparison between the. Well, it makes a big difference against the ATLS. As a matter of fact, the ATLS I don't even think's in this discussion. The ATLS is not an in space vehicle. What we're trying to do here is find a competitor to. Well, first off, you could literally say that about any ship. There's ships that do the same thing, different ships that do the same thing. CIG has made it a point to make multiple ships from manufacturers that do the same thing. I merely need to point out the Fortune and the Vulture, right? Or the Idris and the Kraken. Both are carriers. Both are listed as carriers. With the Vulture and the Fortune, both are small salvage vehicles, but they can do things in different ways and have different aspects to them. The idea behind this is to give the Drake Dragonfly Bay room a different ship archetype than the Dragonfly, because the Dragonfly has always been kind of awkward. Maybe CIG is going to fix it, but I think something that's a little bit more tuned to the Kraken and its needs. So, for example, you could put a big tractor beam on here. This could have, repair beams on it, whatever, to sort of be a utility ship for the Kraken itself, right? That's kind of the idea there. But from a size perspective, it would definitely fit. It would definitely fit. Let's now go over, so let's close this. We don't need the Fury anymore. We don't need the MPUV anymore, and Drake Mule we'll leave open for a minute. So let's do some more kit bashing, shall we? Let's do some more kit bashing, shall we? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Sometimes when we kit bash, we just kind of get a little crazy, right? We are going to start with, so that's the golem. So it looks like I used the golem to build this. Let me just see what I used. Okay, we're going to start this time a little differently. We're going to start with the mule is our working archetype here. Let me turn off the work plane. Okay. Let's start a new project. Let's paste our vehicle in there. Let's spin it 90 degrees or 180 degrees. Let's turn off our work plane. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let me just see what parts and pieces we're working with. So that's the main ship. This is probably interior. Nope, that's nothing, so we're going to kill that. All right, what is this? That is the chassis. That is, looks like interior and some exterior elements. It's so weird how they classify that stuff. Okay, so I do want to grab the wheels, which look like they're here. Okay, so we're just going to delete those. Okay. Let's see here. Actually, one thing I need to do is I need to get the Fong thing right here. Why doesn't that connect the right way? Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Yeah. All right. Stand by. We're just doing a little bit of maintenance here. Okay, just removing these tags here, because unless I'm properly textured, it just doesn't want to look right. Okay, there we go. So let me get a few, fold all. Okay, all right. So we could start with the mule, right? Let's start with the mule. I think that's a pretty good way to start. Okay, so let's start there. Let's look at some more stuff to trim. These little side racks can probably go, so we're going to delete that. We're going to delete that, so let's kill those. I think most of what you see there is needed just from a chassis standpoint. So we're going to bring up a new Drake ship here. Again, what we're creating right now may be terrible, by the way, everybody. It may be absolutely terrible. We're just having fun. Don't take it too seriously. That's all I'm saying. Don't take it too seriously. Oops. Okay, let's bring over the Herald. We haven't messed with the Herald in a while. Yes, Honey Springs, it is kit bashing time. Some people love it. Some people hate it. That's what we're doing. We're kit bashing. Ooh, this is an old export right here because this is before I knew how to take the what you call this, the freaking oh, damn it, VMXEO. Know the name of this mesh. I forget what it is. Let me kill that real quick though. Stand by. No. Where is that? Okay, proxy. Select the proxy, delete it. There we go. I just got to delete that proxy. Okay. All right, there is our wonderful herald. It's kind of some wacky colors right now, everybody, because I don't have textures on it in the way that you all know textures, but we're going to kind of make it a little bit more easy to look at and not so crazy. We're just going to bring some stuff down to kind of calm down the visual complexity of everything. Again, just so it's not so freaking crazy. Okay, there we go. And then these parts here, we'll brighten those up a little bit too, just to give it a little less craziness on the visuals. Okay. So what we need to look for is someone mentioned these big giant engines, which I think again is very, very Drake, which would be kind of fun to rip off, right? There we go. So let's separate the rear. Okay, so let's take that component. We're going to come over to this bad boy. We're going to paste that in. Oh God, look how big it is. We're going to bring it down in size here. Okay, delete and use materials, delete duplicate materials. Okay. What we're going to do here is we're going to spin it around as we always do. Yeah, landing click gear included for free. As a matter of fact, we are going to probably delete the rigging here. That's rigging, by the way, for the landing gear itself. We don't need all that right now. We're not going that hard in the paint trying to figure out the damn landing gear. That's a whole other mess usually. Let's go ahead and calm down these internals here though, because they're pretty bright. Just bring that down a little bit. There we go. All right, there we go. John says you mispronounced it. The correct way is humpback. Yeah, exactly. There you go. I like that, John. I like that. All right. Again, everyone, this may look like absolute shit. Just bear with me here. Okay. We're just messing around at this phase. Okay. We're messing around. That's what we're doing. Kit bashing our little hearts out. Okay. What if it was literally what if it was literally like that? Oh my God, that's amazing. I want this immediately. I want this thing. I want this thing tomorrow is when I want it. I love the look of this already and we've just gotten started. Okay, bear with me. Okay, here we go. Damn, that actually looks kind of cool. How stupid is that? I love it. I love it. I need VMXEO to be like, no, Graham, I love it. It's the best thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'm going to delete some palms here because they can sometimes get a little crazy. Where is that? Just doing a little, kit bashing. By the way, I don't ever like try to make it like have all the decals and stuff. That's not the point. The point for kit bashing, by the way, is to just mess around with shape language. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's already looking pretty badass. Okay. All the Drake haters out there are regretting their life decisions right now. I'm telling you. What is the okay? So this is the front cargo thing. So we're gonna clean this up a little bit here. We're gonna turn that off. Not necessarily making the smallest ship. We're just trying to make something pretty small. Pretty small. Okay, let's get rid of these little hydraulic things. Okay. Yeah, not necessarily the smallest ship. We're just trying to come up with something that is very small um, and compact so that it can have a lot of like have the ability to fit into a lot of stuff. Okay, so we're on to something now. We're definitely on to something. Okay, so we're gonna okay put some wheels and it's the perfect drone. Okay, let's grab a few more parts and pieces here. So we let's go back to the Herald real quick. Actually, does the Herald have wings? Oh yeah, it does. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, we're gonna borrow from the Herald a little bit today, which is not what I thought we were gonna do, but we're doing it. Damn it. Okay, so to get that off the Herald, we've kind of got we gotta get a little bit creative here. All right, bear with me, everybody. We got to do some chopping here. We got to do some chopping. So body is, okay, that body palms, we can kill that. So body, body. Okay, we're going to grab the wing. What is this part of the wing here? Perfect. Okay, so let's put that part of the wing up there, but let's turn it off. Okay, and we're going to delete this, delete the internals. What part of the ship is this? You are seeing some true kit bashing right now, folks. Moto says, do I wish I was making ships for CIG? It would be a hell of a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun, but I don't want to misconstrue anything. I think Trispone just said this in a video of his the other day, and I thought it was a great thing to say. I thought it was very good of him to say this, actually, because a lot of people ask him, hey, do you want to make ships for CIG and stuff, or do you think you can make a better ship than CIG? And he had a great response to that, and it's 100% true, which is that CIG has to deal with a lot of things that I'm not even thinking about right now. So, for example, they need to think about things like usage, metrics, polygon, count, all that kind of stuff. So, and they think about a lot of that when they're kit bashing. So, CIG, they deal with it. They have a much harder job. The ship team members on their end, kudos to them because I mean, it's to do what they do and have to think about all the things they think about is got to be pretty difficult. Pretty difficult. So, I don't want to take away from that. I think they do an incredible job getting ships in the game that have as much detail as Star Citizen ships have. It's pretty incredible. I would love to do the job, but I am under no I'm under no I'm under no mystery that what they do is a lot more difficult than what I'm doing right now. So, okay, so I have that piece, which is what I wanted, and then I got the wing, which is right there. So we're going to take that. We're going to grab this internal piece. We just want the wing. We're going to put that in there. We're going to grab the wing. We're going to go back over to our little ship here. Okay, this wing is obviously way too big, but that's okay. Okay, and then we're going to scale it down to 50 by half. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just catching up on chat. VMXEO says the really cool stuff is made by the environmental art team, but don't tell the ship team I said that. We won't, VM. We won't, buddy. We won't. But I agree. I mean, all the teams at CIG really do make some cool ass stuff. I mean, there's just there's no getting around it. They have some really incredible artists at CIG. I think everyone and on this channel would agree with that sentiment. Um, I mean, yeah, just that's an easy thing to say. There's a lot of really good work. We're just trying stuff here, by the way. We're just trying stuff here. I don't know what will work and what won't work. I had an idea for this wing that it could kind of sit underneath this part here and kind of angle down was kind of my thinking for some like really basic level control, not like super in your face, but just enough that I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. Where's the? Let me delete the palm off that because it's kind of annoying. There we go. Okay. Moto says we put you in CIG and in 1 week we have the Kraken ready. Moto, you have way too much faith in me, but I appreciate you and I love the comments. But I mean that's the cool thing is that they are working on the Kraken. You know what I mean? How cool is that? I thought it was going to be a long time before I got to say that, but here we are. You know what I mean? They're working on it, and that's pretty cool. I think that's very cool. I'm excited for it. It's one of the ships I'm most excited for. I would probably put the Pioneer on that list too, though. There we go. It's looking kind of interesting, but it still needs a little something. I think I know what we're going to put on it. The one interesting thing about the bug is I like these little winglets here. What is that on though? Let me see what that's on. Okay, it's on this piece, so we're going to grab that. We're not going to use the engine from it though. That was our dual engine. This is going to be our single engine, but I did like the pieces from it. Let's go ahead and kill let's go ahead and get the same textures on it because okay, we need to scale it down here and change its position. For some reason it's in the wrong position. By the way, everyone, me and VMXEO are going to get a kit bash stream going at some point where we both kit bash live on stream. I am working on that. I have to build kind of a setup for it, but it is something I am like actively working on for sure. Oops. Nope. Okay. Okay, let's see. That's interesting. That's interesting. Again, I'm not going to use the engines, but I want to check something. Why is that skirting? Why do I have this skirting and not the other side skirting? That's interesting. Let's turn that off. Okay. Wonder if we could make that. Oop, nope. Now, don't worry. If some of you are looking at this going, oh my God, what the hell is Grim doing? Don't worry. Don't worry. This is not necessarily how it's going to look. We're trying stuff. We're just trying stuff. That's all we're doing. Kind of like that. That's kind of cool, but not going to work. I think these need to be. I don't know about that. I'm not feeling that anymore. I'm not feeling that anymore. Okay. All right, there's that. But I think it needs it. We're missing something. Actually, we need to fix something real quick here. First off, okay, I need to see this piece here. Okay, pipe cover front and right. Sometimes when you're dealing with these pieces, you have to make some slight modeling adjustments, and that's what we got to do here. And go to the side view. We're going to grab some points. We're going to grab these points here. Go back over here, turn everything back on. Okay, and then we're going to slide those up. Hey, Victor, I hope you're well, buddy. We're going to just slide those up to where they close the gap now. Okay. It's really cool, obviously extremely front heavy. Oh, wait a minute, I got two components sticking out right here. Uh-oh, two components slip themselves into the engine bay. That cannot stand. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I almost feel like this needs to be a little bigger though. What do you all think? Like just a little bigger, maybe? Can it be a little bigger? Or maybe a little longer? Maybe that's the issue. Maybe if this was longer. Something like that to give it a little bit more oomph back there. Make it not feel so stubby. I know VMXEO right now is looking at this saying, only if I could only take this and make a bunch of changes to it. Grim's fuck it up. Okay. There we go. We're going to do that. There we go. I like that. A little bigger, not too crazy, but we still need to do some more stuff to this. So we're going to pop open another ship here. One of the best ships. We're going to pop over the oops, 1 second everybody. Got about 3,000 messages that just hit. Okay, so let's see if there's anything off the Cutlass we can borrow. Cutlass, one of my favorite ships in the game, 100%. You know, again, on the Kraken itself, you know, the Kraken is really built around carrying 2 medium Cutlasses, just FYI. I always love these fronts, and this isn't on any other ship in the Drake lineup. I wonder if we could integrate that into this little guy. Obviously way too big at the moment, but that's okay. We can scale things down. We can scale things down. I do need to take some of these textures here though and change them. Just get them more into the regime that we're working in here. Okay, cool. All right, let's bring this down in scale a little bit. Yeah, the Kraken actually does have fans kind of like that. You're right. Or fins, sorry, fins. Yes, you are right. You are right. That's a good point. The Kraken does kind of take some cues from a few Drake ships, which is pretty cool, actually. Okay, so way too big, but don't worry. Okay, actually, maybe that's what the winglets are instead of those other ones. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it because we're crazy like that. Okay, so we can delete the damage. We can delete the palms. Let's just keep the wing kind of simple for now. Like, I wonder if this was here, but like integrated a little bit more. I don't know. Let me turn these wings off. What are these? Let me turn these little wings off because I'm not sure about those yet. Let's see here. Maybe angle the wing down at an angle. Yeah, that's possible. Crimson says, Grim, would it be more appropriate for a Drake Snub to have a Buccaneer type cockpit / cap? Maybe. You know, the Buccaneer is not one we have opened at yet, but we probably should. We probably should at some point here. Let me delete the gun because it's got a hard point. There we go. I still wish. Yeah, like I wonder. And again, everyone, sorry. Sometimes you kit bash and it's successful. Sometimes you kit bash and it is not successful. Okay. It's not always successful. It's not always successful. CIG probably has a lot of unsuccessful kit bashes as well. So sometimes if I just want to see what this quickly would look like mirrored, you could just mirror it or just flip it. I don't know. It's pretty crazy looking. Pretty crazy looking. Let's drop in content browser. Let's just throw in a linear light setup for the moment. Let's rotate our sun around here. Let's go down to 120. Let's make our sun not quite as warm. Let's kill some of the environmental brightness. Giga Chad Chen? Yeah. Yes, yes, indeed. Let's add ambient occlusion. God, that is so jank. All right, so we're on to something here. I think those winglets are a little bit more Drake. I do think those are a little bit more Drake. Would you all agree with that? Just a little bit more Drake. I think that's kind of cool. But what we're going to do now is we're going to get a little crazy. Okay. Now, VM, I know what you're saying, buddy. I know what you're saying. You're saying, damn it, why am I not kit bashing this right now with Grim? Because he's on to something. All right, just a minute, everybody. Just getting a few things situated here. Okay, and then what is going on with the palms here? These things are crazy. Okay, here's the palms. Let's just make these a gray to where this thing is not so damn crazy. Okay, let me just pop all these up to some degree. There we go. Okay, so what parts do we want to take off of here? VMXEO is programming all day. It's a damn shame, VM. It's a damn shame. But it's okay, buddy. We're going to do a kit bash sooner rather than later. Okay. Copy this. Go to Untitled. Okay, we're going to go over here. I think we're on to something here, by the way, everybody. I think we're on to something. Okay, I think we're on to something. But what we're going to do is we are going to take this little thing. We're going to group it all. Oops, that's literally the opposite of what I wanted to do. By the way, is this enjoyable at all to anyone? Should I stop while I'm ahead? Okay, we're going to push that there. We're going to drop in our nose chance of making a kit bash module for Starjump Fleet Viewer. That would be cool. I don't know what would be encompassed in that though. I would have to look into that. I would have to look into like the feasibility of the pieces. You know what I mean? Oops. And how those pieces come together. Like there would have to be some sort of system that's based off of, and I don't know how that would work yet. It's not that it's impossible. It just would mean to be something I kind of look into. Okay, we're going to shorten that cockpit a little bit because why not? Okay, we're going to push this back to be somewhere around. It's too tall right now, that much I can easily tell, but that's okay. Let's see, Drake Mule. Let's just turn the body off for a second. Okay, shablam. We got components everywhere. What the hell is with all these components? Got all kinds of components hanging out here. You all can see where we're going, right? You can all see where we're going. Wolf Blitzer likes this better already. This is what kit bashing's all about, people. Trying shit out. What are these little pieces here? What are these? All right, someone get on the horn with CIG immediately. Tell them we have ideas. Tell them we've been kit bashing and we've solved all of Star Citizen's problems. They would love to hear that. Okay. They would love to hear. I'll be seeing CIG this weekend. I will let them know. Okay, let's go back to the nose. Let's do a few more shrinks here. What is, man, this thing is crazy in terms of its, no. We call this star bashing. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, we call it star bashing. I like that a lot, Vic. I like that a lot. There's something still wrong with this thing, but that's okay. We're getting there, people. We're getting there. What is this piece? I need. Is that the hard seat? Is that the cockpit seat? Yes, it is. That's actually the cockpit seat, which would be different on a fighter type cockpit where you can actually lay down. So I'm not ultra concerned about that. Let me go back to. By the way, is everyone semi enjoying this? I want to make sure I'm not boring the hell out of everybody. Hopefully, I'm not. Okay, we're going to take. All right, we're going to take these two pieces. We're going to come back over to our untitled thing. Yes, bring those over, but give us that texture. Ooh, something is unoptimized. I can already tell something is unoptimized. Okay, we're going to rotate these to 280. Nope, we're not. That is crazy. Group objects, we're going to rotate this like this to negative 90 degrees. Kids, make sure you pay attention to math class. We're going to bring this over. Hold on, everybody. We're getting there. We're getting there. Some of you will kind of see what we're doing. We're trying to, you see, let me show you. So you see how this piece is kind of just like not lining up. We need more structure down here. It's a little anemic in that area. So that's kind of what we're doing here, is giving it a little structure. Giving it a little structure that I'm hoping we can kind of fix. But it may not work. This is what happens when you smash all the Drake ships. Yes, exactly, Wolf. This is what happens when you smash Drake ships together. You get shit like this. That's exactly right. Couldn't have said that better myself. Okay, there's components everywhere. There's components sticking out everywhere. There's another component. Okay. Obviously, this rear end is not going to work, so we're going to kill that. Okay, but then we lost the piece that I was trying to recapture, so we're going to scale this down a lot. Nope, I still did that wrong. Okay, we might have to do some trimming here, but that's okay. Okay, so for this, I gotta get a little weird here for a minute, everybody. Bear with me. Z. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So if we're 0.16 on that, then Y we would technically need to be 0.16. No. If we're 0.23 there, then on the X we need to be 0.23. Okay, that's too wide though. Okay, so I might need to rethink that a minute. Just a minute. And I'm sure there's some of you that have some cool ideas here, but bear with me. We're not quite to that point yet, but I'm getting close to it. I'm getting close to it. I'm just trying to see. Oh, you know what? I know what to do. We're gonna flip this to 90 degrees. Nope. One. Math? I don't do math. I don't do math either. I don't do math either. Okay, actually, can I kill those things? No, it's all part of the geometry. Damn. I was hoping to kill those. I don't like them. I still want to kill them though. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to bring this in because we have to. I'm gonna lose a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. And I need to chop off some stuff here, so hold on a minute. So another thing you might do when you're kit bashing, if you've ever kit bashed before, is you just lob off shit. You're not being overly precious here. Not being overly precious kind of does not help the situation if you're overly precious. Okay, so this here, let's go a little, and then what is this piece here? It's clay. You can mold it. So, I mean, that's an interesting thing. Is it truly is? It's like working with clay. That's a great way of putting it. Um, it really is all about excuse me. It really is all about like just trimming and cutting and slicing and stuff like that. Let me turn off the joints here. Okay, so we got two options for a. What is under here? That is so weird. Let me go back in the nose here. There's some piece of. Is it nose damage? No, we want to don't want that. Is there anyone from CIG in chat? You don't have to poke up, but hopefully we have some lurkers. Again, what you're seeing here is just us having fun. You know what I mean? We're just experimenting, having fun with this, seeing what kind of shenanigans we can get into. So what I was looking for, everybody, was the cockpit canopy glass, which I'm looking for now. But I think, okay, I think that solved the issue. Okay. All right, so let me grab this one real quick. Where's that glass? Yep, glass. Bring that cockpit glass down as well. So here is two crazy ass snubs in the look of using using the Mule engines, or sorry, the Herald engines. Victoria, thank you very much. Oh no, sorry. Mr. Freshback, thank you for the follow, or thank you for subscribing. I can't talk today. Mr. Freshback, let me give you the old double salute. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. So here are two sort of things. Now on this one, I'm almost thinking we turn back on those winglets and turn off the bigger winglets, right? So we go back to these bad boys. All right, and let's see what we can do with them. I don't know. I don't know what we can do with it. Actually, you know what? Let's try this. Let's try rotating these back just a little bit. Okay, they'll still be facing downward. Okay, I don't know what those pieces are right there, but we're going to fix that. Okay, what is this? Okay, and we're going to remove this entire thing here. Okay, we're going to go back to this winglet. We need to fix a few things here, so let's do that real quick. Okay, let's just bring that up to sort of fill the gap. Doesn't have to be perfect. Again, we're not trying to win an Oscar here. We're just trying to kit bash. All right. I mean, it's kind of missing some greeble right here, but we can solve that. We can definitely solve that. Okay, so here's this. Now I need a little something to kind of. You know what? For right now, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna create a null. Bring that down. Now, one interesting thing that hopefully you all can see with this is it also allows you to kit bash really quick. Oh, I would buy that. Who else would buy this? This ship here. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. That is cool. Right? That is pretty cool. What is all this up here? Yeah, there we go. I don't know. That's pretty sweet. I would buy that from Drake. The cockpit's a little fat, but I think it kind of has to be to fit the yeah. So actually, you just said something. So let's go back to the Buccaneer real quick. We're going to borrow an engine off the Buccaneer. Which, does the engine contain a wing? Yes, it does. Okay. So we're going to pull that up here. We're going to turn this off. We're going to... Actually, what the hell is that? That's so weird. Okay, actually, perfect. This is what we want right here. We're going to take this merged engine and go back to our thing. Someone said we need an underscoop, so that's exactly what we're going to do. 40, 40, 40. Okay, we're going to bring that down and we're going to rotate it. Right, something like that maybe? Or the other way. Something like that maybe. Oh, that could be kind of cool. All right, something like that. Oh, damn. I kind of like that. All right, that's pretty cool. You can hear my dog. I don't know, everybody. What do you think? You can be honest. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I dig that. That is pretty sweet. Okay. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to go even a little crazier with it because we're not done. We're not done, people. We're just not done. Okay, we're going to take those. We're going to drag it into this bad boy. Okay. Okay, now we're going to take, let me save this real quick. Okay, let me, all right. So we're now going to drag this one out of the way. But I kind of like where we're going. Kind of like where we're going with this. I like this new one much better, though. Yes, exactly. Fingers, exactly. By the way, we have 70 over on Twitch and 93 on YouTube today. Thank you for all hanging out. All right, next we are going to go back to our original and we are going to borrow the dual engine setup, okay? Because I kind of always liked that. So we're going to go to the dual engine setup. We need to see what that looks like. We need to see what that looks like. So we're going to paste that. We're going to rotate it. I think a dual engine could look pretty sweet, actually. Okay, I am going to just kind of lift it for a minute. And let's go under here. Let's kill the tail. Okay. We lost quite a bit there, but that's okay. Oops. We're going to bring this down, but before we do that, we're just going to pop this over. Get our colors correct here. Don't worry, we're going to fix some stuff. We're going to fix some stuff. I know it's a little crazy, right? Okay, so we're going to go to 0.9, 0.9. Yeah, we'll do maybe yeah, oops. Nope, nope. Probably something like that. Okay. Okay, we're probably gonna lose these wings, by the way. I don't know if those are doing anything for us yet. Yeah, I don't think they're doing a lot for us, but that's okay. All right, we're going to kill some of this geometry. So to do that properly, we are just going to kind of chop from the side. Okay, again, I don't like these little winglets, but don't worry, we're gonna deal with that in just a moment. Okay, I still think we got too much geometry here, so we're going to go into it. And we're actually going to trim from here. Perfect. That's what I wanted, I think. Okay, there we go. That's more what I was wanting. So okay, let's go back to this. No, not that tail. Where it was. Sorry, I'm looking for some stuff here, people. Just a minute. Okay. Where was that cutter? Where was that cutter thing? Let's do I still have that open? No. Stand by. Where's that stupid thing? Starjump. Fleet viewer. Gotta go to my models here. Renders. Drake cutter. Our boy VMXEO sent us the cutter model earlier. So let's swing back over. It's gonna take a second to load this. What program is this? This is Cinema 4D. We could be doing this in Blender, by the way. This may crash, by the way, everybody. So just a minute. Let's see if this crashes. The computer may be running out of patience with me, though. So, I'm not sharing my screen for a second, everybody, because I need to sort of. Oh man, the cutter is in. Stand by, everybody. I promise I will swing back over to the camera in just a second. I need to kill some lights here, though, because it is taxing my machine. Taxing my machine pretty badly. And if I don't fix this, it could crash the stream. Okay, I think I can switch back over now. Okay, cutter. So what we're going to do, obviously we got a light on, so we're going to search for the light. There's one. Here's some. That did it. Okay, perfect. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to delete duplicate layers, delete unused layers. We're going to bring this down so it's not so crazy looking. We are going to view, fold, unfold all. We got to kind of fix a few things here, so bear with me. Oh gosh, it's going to be fucking crazy. All right, you know what? We're only going to use parts and pieces of this. So what we want to use is the main body. This is not grouped at all, though. This is what's crazy. I didn't know it did that. Okay, I need to figure out the best way to do this. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to duplicate that, turn one off. We're going to have to do some large scale cutting here because I need parts of this ship, but the way this is grouped is not going to work very nice for me right now. So we're just going to do some large scale cutting here. Okay. That's good. And then I need to kill the gears, kill those, kill those. Let's just kill that. The hell is that? What is that? Okay. Okay, there's just some of the rigging for the engines. We're going to just kill that. Let's just chop the guns off. Okay. let's take. Can I kill these? Let's see. I think I can. Yeah. Those are cool, by the way. I just can't use them for what I'm doing. Okay. That's all good, BM. I always delete the lights just because I don't use those lights in cinema. I can't, unfortunately. I don't transfer correctly. It's a cinema thing though. Not a you thing. All right, let me bring this bad boy over. We're just gonna shrink her down by a lot. Oof, by a lot. Yeah, not a you thing. It's just a cinema thing. I wish cinema was honestly a little better at dealing with other file types. Cinema is not the friendliest software, I think, in terms of like working well with others. It's just not. Yeah, so bear with me, people. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're just going to do some large scale. Sometimes when I'm just sort of large scale cutting things, I will do exactly what you're seeing here, by the way. Just kind of chopping stuff haphazardly. No, it took off parts of what I didn't want to take off. Trying to see what this thing would look like with a body. I don't think I like it very much with the dual engines. Honestly, I thought I would, but I don't think I do. I don't know what Trispone would think of this. He probably thinks this is crazy. Let's see, is this not centered? What's going on here? That's so weird. All right, let's chop these big wings off. These things are insane. You like the over under? Yeah, I kind of do too, to be quite honest with you. I didn't think I would either, but I think I do like that. Believe it or not. John Crew and Ben Curtis, if they ever see this, they're probably shaking their heads, going, "Oh my God, what did he do to our beloved Drake kit? What once was good is now sullied." But that's part of this. Sometimes you have some successes, sometimes you have a lot of failures, and this may be one of those failures. This one we're attempting now. I'm not 100% sure. I should just double it up and give this thing 4 beefy stuff. It's off the back. Oh my God, that'd be crazy. Or we could flip it like what's that, like the Drake's and like the Kraken's engines where it's got like the four the 4 engines like this. That would be fucking crazy. Call the Drake Mini Kraken. The Drake Kraken's got engines like that, by the way. Let me check something here. Why is this? Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the over under a little bit better. I still need to fix some of this stuff, but that's, what we're going to do. We're going to actually, where is it? It's over here. We're going to take this merged one, bring it up. Okay, we are going to rotate 180 degrees to negative 270. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to do some stretching and squeeze. It kind of blends. Something like that. Yeah, I do kind of dig that. Now that's kind of looking pretty cool. This bottom part here is still kind of pretty whacked out. I mean, that's definitely not refined looking at all. Oh, you know what we could do? We could possibly, let's go back to our cutter. Let's grab one more thing off of this. Remember that piece that we said we didn't need? Maybe we do need it. Okay, and here's what we're going to do. Grab this. Okay, let's get this out of there. What we're going to do, we're going to grab this entire piece here. Okay, which is made up of a few pieces. This is sort of the exhaust system. Paste it over here. We're going to go real small. Okay, and we are going to take that and we're going to actually spin this. Let me kill these real quick. We're going to spin this 180 degrees again. Okay. Again, sometimes kit bashing is just about getting greebles on. And once you get greebles on, it starts to sort of take on a manufacturer's ship language. You know what I mean? See how that's kind of already starting to take shape there on the rear end? And then what we can do is just duplicate that, create a null, throw it in the null. The null's already centered, reverse it, which will mirror it on the other side. And then that should give you out on both sides there. That's where, I mean, engines were mounted here, so we'll have to cap that off. But greeblification, yes. I don't know. That's turning out not terribly terrible. Again, these are all still pretty small. Okay, we're gonna take a. Let's see. Let me grab those elements. Bring them down here. Okay, so we got. Oops, no, it's not what we want to do. The Snub XL. I like it. What in the hell? What the hell's going on with this thing? What are these? No. Okay. Oh, okay. These part of this. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So we have this one right here, which is pretty cool. I like it more now. We have this monstrosity. Okay. Which looks very industrial. And then this one, which looks pretty sleek. I would buy this one in a minute, by the way. In like a hot minute, I would buy it. I don't know how you all feel, but I would buy it in a New York minute. It's just so weird. All right, so. All right, everybody. Oops, let me turn on anti-aliasing because we have no aliasing on right now. Let's go to best. Okay. All right, everybody, you tell me. Do you like the one on the left, the one in the middle, or the one on the right? What's the group thinking? Which one was our most successful? Left? Thinking the one on the left? The one on the left did turn out good. It's very focused. It looks like the Drake version of an arrow. I mean, there's no guns on it yet, but. So it looks pretty predominantly left. Pretty predominantly left. Some on the right, some on the center. Left, but it needs a little bit more greeble. Yep, that's possible. Possibly needs a little bit more greeble. By the way, we're going to do more work to these. This is our initial exploration. Deep Runner says the right one looks more like Drake, but the first one looks really good. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think these are definitely interesting. I think these are definitely interesting. Rule of cool gets dollars. There's no denying that. Crimson says he's team right. We'll clean these up and I'll give them some texture and we'll see what CIG thinks. We'll send this to some people. John says none. They're all Drake, so they're trash. So see, John is not. He's obviously not up on what's the hip thing. We all know Drake is the best manufacturer. We know this. This is not anything we need to discuss. But yeah, there you go. I mean, that is kit bashing in a nutshell, people. It's a lot of fun. It's hit and miss. Sometimes things are cool, sometimes they're not. You know, you're just messing with pieces to see what maybe could give you interesting shape language. And then once you do that, once you explore that shape language, then you go on to fully explore that particular shape language and that silhouette, and you sort of do variants based off that. If any of you have ever looked in the the subscribers vault for Star Citizen, you'll see where CIG does the same thing. They'll kit bash things. They'll do like illustrations, sometimes like ultra simple models of just different shape languages. They've done this for every ship they've ever done: Pioneer, Kraken, Gladius, Argo, SRV. If you go back and look through all those, Nautilus, tons of completely different shape configurations, and they're just thinking very broad stroke. And then once they figured that out, then they start going back refining, and that happens over and over and over and over again until you end up with a really, really polished concept mesh. And then that concept mesh obviously then moves on over into the rest of the pipeline, which, you know, again, we've shown that before, but I'll drag it over again here. You know, that, oops, nope, that's not what I wanted there. Okay, there we go. You get the mirror effect there. So anyways, here's, you know, you get that concept mesh, which is starting up here. The original design mesh here, or really, sorry, the original design phase over here is where you get a lot of that kit bashing, right? Just trying stuff, trying shape languages, looking at silhouettes and all that kind of stuff. And then that gets revised into kind of an actual concept mesh. That concept mesh eventually will move into production and they will do a full-on white box, very critical stage where they figure out what all is in the ship, how it all fits in the ship, and all that stuff, traversal ways and all that stuff. Then we go into gray box, where the white box is turned into gray box mesh, higher detail, start to bring in some lighting and stuff like that. And then from gray box, if it's a larger ship, a more complex ship, then interiors get gray boxed as well, of course. And then after gray box, we move into final. So you'll start hearing, you know, when CIG refers to it as final art, this is the phase that they're in. Obviously, you'll see CR gets approvals on these. I'm sure he still does. This is a little bit old, though, 2017, I believe. I wish they would do an updated one of these. I'd be curious if any of their processes have changed. And then final to flight prep. Again, this is where you hear about all those downstream teams, right? So animation, audio, visual effects, additional testing, UI, probably MFDs within the ship, all that kind of stuff. So very important phase. But ships are complicated. So when you're wondering where your ship is at, maybe it's been in concept for a long time, just remember there's a lot of steps here. Those steps keep getting refined over the years. So if your ship has not made it to the game yet, just know that by the time it does, the ship pipeline will be so refined at that point that you'll be getting a better ship because of it. You know, would I have loved to got the Kraken 3 years ago? Sure. but the fact that it's now moving into production means it's going to get all the benefits of the last few years, which I think there have been many in terms of ships. There's been a lot of benefits that have come to ship design. So I'm very excited. Everyone, do not forget to go to the Gleam giveaway, get in on that Perseus giveaway, links in chat. Do not forget, if you're going to Quantum Vegas, seek me out. Hopefully you're going. There's the link for Quantum Vegas. Look for me. I can't wait to talk spaceships with you all. I'll be taking lots of pictures, posting them in the Starjump Discord, and all that good stuff. Is there anything else? Oh, yes, we have a Behind the Ships this week on the RSI Meteor. I will do a stream on Thursday, probably Thursday night, and we will cover it. So we'll fully cover that. That'll be a lot of fun. And we will we'll break down that ship like we always do. You know, we do that. So stay tuned for that. I don't know when the Thursday stream will be. Probably sometime around probably midday. We'll probably try to catch the Behind the Ships as soon as it airs, because I'm pretty excited to see what's what with that ship. So stay tuned for that. That'll be Thursday. I'm going to send you all over to Citizen Spooner. I hope you will all hang on just for a minute. Give Citizen Spooner, awesome dude. Give him a little bit of Starjump love. Hit follow on his channel if you haven't already. I really enjoy him. He's a super nice guy. Until then, everyone, I will see you on Thursday. If you're going to Quantum Vegas, I'll see you on Friday. Everyone, have a great day. Enjoy Citizen Spooner.